So, kind of crazy. Hello? Are you there?
Hello.
Oh my god, look at that.
And we're live.
And we did it. We did it for those of you.
It's been 10 years.
It's been a long time. I didn't even look at the timestamp on the video, but it was like 2012, 2013, so
Yeah,
7. Yeah.
Good decade.
4/26/2020. I mean, here, let me get this music to go down just a little bit. There we go. We're good.
What were you playing? I didn't get to hear it.
Oh no, you don't get to hear it. That's not for you. But I'll share the playlist with you eventually. No, for those of you joining live, it's 4/26/2020. But you know, for those of you, when this is uploaded, if you listen to this later, it's it'll be up on the YouTube, so this will be whatever, whenever. We're on Facebook Live tonight, but that may change depending on in quarantine. We're on Facebook Live tonight, depending on whichever platform this ever goes or wherever we decide to do it, or if we just decide to upload the episodes and not even go live. You know, some of this may just be recorded instead of live, but we're doing this very first one live, just to kind of see how it goes, how it rolls. We've kind of been back when we did something like this. It was years before podcasts and like episodes and talk shows were really popular on the internet again.
Well, that's why back when live commentaries were a popular thing to do.
Right.
Let's plays.
Right.
Groups of friends.
When YouTube was kind of like the thing.
Just starting anyways.
Yeah. And so, we kind of, you and I both, especially being, let's talk about kind of like what the world is going. So basically, the world's kind of in a slow state due to COVID-19, aka coronavirus. Just to, so, you and I had both kind of like revamped this idea of trying to do something like this again, just to,
stuff.
Trying to do stuff,
downtime, so we've been trying to figure out ideas.
Yeah, to kind of do stuff, and now that this is something simple that you and I can both stick to. It almost like we can, because we're brothers. This is almost something like me and you can kind of come together and do just to kind of talk and put ideas out there and opinionate and do things kind of our way.
Just looking at stuff, what's going on in the world, not just gaming, mostly gaming. Anything and everything.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the fun part about it.
Yeah, that's kind of the point of what's going on here is kind of showing, not really showing, but kind of like the point of the show is kind of what we're going to talk about is gaming mostly, because that's always been kind of our kind of center thing. Yeah, and that's always like, at the center of what we, who me and you are. Games have always been like a passion of ours, competitive, relaxed gaming, whatever games it is. We'll try to keep up with a lot of the gaming news around the world, but there's so much going on, and there's, millions of great games out there. Millions of bad ones too, and we're definitely going to talk about those later, for sure.
There's new things called mobile gamers, and nobody likes them.
No, not at all. But yeah, I mean, sitting around a lot, especially we went into like kind of like an official quarantine, at least in our house, at like 3/20, about a month ago. So it's 4/26. It's been a little over a month, and but the world's in a crazy place. I mean,
it's really weird. Sometimes I find like when I'm out and about, I find myself kind of reminding myself that it's going on, and kind of it's really weird to get that reality. I mean, because me personally, I'm fine with staying home playing games. Like, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like when you remind yourself, like, oh, dude, society's kind of shut down right now. It's like, it's so weird. Everything's just weird right now.
It is weird, but it's not. It hasn't really stopped moving, which is the weird part. At least where we live. I don't know how it is around the rest of the world.
And then you have the power of the internet, social media. It's like, what's the point in going out? You almost don't need it. Like, we need it, but we don't need it at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's it's special, the age we're in.
Yeah, it's a weird state we're definitely in, because it's like you wanna go out, but you do have to think that there is a risk, and there's no real you know, going even grocery shopping is a risk. I don't know. It's weird, and we're also dealing with a sickness and a disease that I still think, me personally, we don't know much about. And that's controversial. There's multiple things on what that might mean, but at the same time, it's like you know, you don't know, and there's a lot you don't know, and not everybody knows. Not really anybody knows everything, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. You have to, and seeing is believing. I believe that as well.
Yeah, it's weird. We're all getting used to it.
It's definitely been fun to kind of catch up on some games. Luckily, like while we've been in this state, some good games have released. To kind of go into it, you have definitely made a recent big purchase and a delve into a new world.
What I get into. PC gaming.
Oh man.
Whole thing, man.
Oh man. What did you get? What did you get?
What didn't I get? Is the real question. No.
A good monitor.
Shut up. Anyways, how would I describe? You want me to go into the details, the nitty gritty?
I mean,
We're doing everything here. I'm proud of it.
Dude, I mean, so I know you had kind of been delving into it. You'd kind of been shopping around for a while. You've been kind of beating around the bush for doing this for a year. For finally buying a PC. I definitely think you chose the perfect time to do it, for sure.
Yeah.
No sarcasm intended at all.
Last year's stuff is also, the price is down to a point.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as expensive as it was a year ago when it came out. So take advantage of that. And then, we got some time to kill. So I'll play some games. I mean, just to give a rundown, if there is anybody who knows anything about computer parts,
you love talking about it. I love hearing about it.
Dude,
I don't mind at all. It doesn't bug me a single bit.
The basics: i7 9700. Was it the K?
Did it have the K?
I think it's got a K. And then we got the 2070 Super, which is just super buddy. But needless to say, everything runs amazing, no problems. Unless you do something crazy stupid with it, but
definitely solid. I think your machine, even without and I was kind of talking about this with someone last night. But I think your machine, even without your graphics card, is still a decent machine. I figured out that a friend of ours, a mutual friend, his name's Hunter, a guy that we play games with, he actually does not. He has a build kind of like yours, but he does not have a graphics card at all.
Wow, so he's just got a motherboard, a processor.
Yeah, RAM. He's got 48 gigabytes of RAM is what he was telling me, but he's just running it without a graphics card. He's waiting for a right time to buy one, and I was tempted to offer him because I just upgraded mine. When you bought yours, I decided to finally upgrade mine, and I was tempted to give him my old GTX 750 or 60. I forget what it is, but I was just like, I kind of went my rounds with that, and it's just not a...
The thing about the graphics card is, if you don't have one, and you're not used to having one, you're not going to know anything about the difference it'll make until you get one, because you have, two main components of a gaming PC anyways. You got the processor and the graphics card. That's why they're the most expensive. It's because they do the most. I mean, you're getting everything.
You see the most out of them visually.
RAM is arguable, of course, but you can get away with, some other stuff on that. But yeah, PC gaming's pretty it's special. It's definitely different. I mean, we've been on consoles our whole gaming life, so
yeah, and it's kind of
a whole new world.
It's crazy, kind of how far we've come as far as doing this right now, but then also doing as far as gaming goes, man, 10 years ago, 2010, we were still rocking on a PlayStation 2, man.
Oh yeah,
we were still.
By that time, the Xbox 360 has been out for what, 6 years?
Yeah, it had already been out for its time. We finally got our first 360. What was it? 2011? Almost 10 years ago.
2011, 2012. I don't know.
Yeah,
Modern Warfare 3, whenever that came out.
Modern Warfare 3, the year Modern Warfare 3, and I think that was 2011. That was the same year Skyrim came out as well. Yeah. And that was where everything kind of took off gaming-wise for us.
Games were awesome then, man. That's when a lot of good games were coming out. You had Skyrim, Call of Duty was awesome still. and then we had Battlefield 3. I don't even know if Battlefield 3 was out at the time, was it? I don't remember.
I don't remember what year it came out.
We didn't play it then, but we watched. I remember I watched a lot of it.
Yeah, and I remember that was like that was when the modern war, that was when Call of Duty versus Battlefield was like not huge, but in our world it was huge. And
there's so many comparisons, dude.
You know, it's crazy to think about that time. We didn't know what we were missing because if you think about what we were gaming on, you know, the PC guys were just rocking it up on Battlefield 3, man.
No, we had nothing.
We had no idea.
All we knew as far as gaming was TV, controller, as simple as it gets. But I mean, I wish. I mean,
not even HDMI. We didn't even have HDMI. We were still rocking the yellow, white, and blue. We were the yellow. No, the yellow. Yeah, with the yellow, white, and red.
I was like, dude, you used to have to like match colors on your TVs and stuff, and now it's just one.
The channel channel 3 to be able to play the video, man. It's just
no recollection.
So that's what we were kind of touching base on the other day, is like games overall have come a long way, but we've come a long way as far as like evolving with our games, you know, like me and you specifically. So I mean, it's
that goes from, I mean, just recently with the computer, but think about, we started before the 360. PlayStation 2, which was
we had a couple of laptops that would run Skyrim at 50 frames per second.
Oh god, that was interesting.
The Pirate Bay days is like as we like to call it.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
That's not.
We don't talk about that. It's not a thing.
Dude, I don't know. Because here's the thing: if you watch any YouTube video from like 2014 and up, and people show their desktop, uTorrent is right there on the front page of everybody's desktop.
Nobody.
Oh
we don't
man,
know what you're talking about. We don't talk about that here, okay?
Oh man, what a time it was! What a time! I can't wait to see like what our future kids come up with as far as trying to get games go. You know?
Oh, dude.
Like what the uTorrent of the future and the Pirate Bay of the future is going to be.
I don't want, anybody to be in the position we were at where they feel like they had to pirate games online.
We weren't the only ones.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's why I was there.
So, but yeah, man, it's really cool. But yeah, it's as far as like, that kind of goes back to the main point of the show, is this, it's going to go back and, mainly generally be about gaming, because that's what we keep up with. These days, might delve into some sports. Right now we're in the off season for the NFL. We know the XFL. What happened with the XFL? I haven't even looked into anything officially for that.
Let's talk about that for a second. So the XFL actually went bankrupt because of coronavirus. I hate it for them because they actually had a good little start. Like they were interesting. It was a little bit different than the NFL rules, and I liked it. The players weren't good at all, but it was interesting to watch, and it also gave us something to watch.
Definitely good off-season football. I think I don't know if no, because that's the NFL draft, but I don't know if the XFL players or the people in the XFL can get people coming out of college like the NFL can.
I had no idea. I had no idea how any of that worked. I think they just kind of signed people.
Yeah, because we haven't even had an XFL offseason yet, so there's no way we'd be able to know.
Yeah, there's no way we knew. But I felt bad for the XFL because they had a good start. People liked it. It wasn't like back when it first came out, forever ago. It wasn't WWE football. It was actually like a football league that was competitive. Like I said, the players weren't really fun to watch, but it was still interesting, and you could see it had a good direction. But then coronavirus hit, and they went bankrupt, and they sold the company. Still trying to sell the company or something like that. But
it was rough.
It is what it is. I hope that they try it again, but who knows?
That's rough. I didn't watch much. I didn't watch much of it at all. I'd heard good things about it. I had heard good things about it though. I'd heard it was entertaining. It wasn't an NFL, but they filled all their stands. I think they had 12 teams, 8 teams. And they just I feel bad because this is completely out of their control, and there's really not much they can do as far as hopefully they can possibly jumble something up and push forward to maybe revamping something. And
we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, but
if the right person buys it, maybe. But
exactly, and that's hard. Vince McMahon is not a cheap man. That is an expensive man.
oh, dude, and this was a big step for him. Anyways, I can't believe he even tried to do it, but it was. I hate it. I just hate it. Anyways, yeah, PC gaming, fantastic so far. I've only just started, so I don't know anything. There's, um, I'm just starting to learn what I can, and I can pretty much do anything. So.
Oh yeah, dude, you're in the realm now, and you kind of open up like it's kind of like a skeleton key into a new dimension.
Yeah, like once you're there, it's like console. Back. The only reason I go back is for, of course, our friends that play. But I don't know, man. Other than that, one thing is this is like for Call of Duty and stuff like that. I don't know if I could play Call of Duty on a PC. I feel like that would be a little weird, but I don't know. I mean, I could give it a try.
Yeah,
I feel like Call of Duty specifically is a very console dominated.
oh, for sure. There are certain games that have definitely labeled themselves as the console dominant.
Yeah, and you can't really go back on Call of Duty.
Even if you were to play even if you were to play it on the PC, I still think it would be one of those games that I would have to hook up a controller to play. You know, like a good example, for instance, is Apex. Apex, you know, I haven't played it on PC since I've updated my PC, but when I did, I plug up my controller because it's just the mouse and keyboard. No mouse when I play games on my PC, I play most games with mouse and keyboard. But this one specifically has just gotten I just got the controller rhythm down. You know.
That's a game that could go either way. I feel like there's a lot of population on every console for that game. I don't even know this PlayStation have. I don't know anything about PlayStation.
About what?
If it's on a PlayStation, I don't even know.
Oh, if Apex is on PlayStation?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I played it on PlayStation before too. The players are worse on PlayStation.
Well, of course. I mean.
No, but that's so as far as PC gaming goes, you definitely stepped into the new realm. And then graphically and visually, it's just a difference as well.
It's just performance. I mean, you get real. Like I feel like Xbox consoles in general are very marketed to being this grand picture of okay, you're getting the best console you can get. Yeah, best console, but gaming wise, if you want to get the best for your money, computer's where it's at.
Right. Oh, for sure. I'll be honest. Since I've upgraded my PC, like I said, I have not turned my Xbox on.
I haven't turned it on in like 2 weeks.
Oh man.
I'll come around. I'll come and play something. I'm sure about.
Oh yeah, definitely. We got the. I know. So it's April 26th. New Apex season starts. I think May 5th. Yeah, either May 5th or I think it's a week after that. And so we've already gone through an entire Apex season, so I might have to pick up console because I like playing Apex on console, Apex on PC, and this kind of goes into like an Apex conversation. This is a different conversation for another day. I think actually next week I was going to talk more about Apex because it is going to be getting closer to the time of this season ending. Maybe I'll jump back into it for the last couple weeks to try to get the highest rank that I can, but that's just different.
See where it goes.
So, so you wanted to talk about some things you've experienced literally just in the past couple of weeks for your, for PC and just for one of our favorite game franchises in general.
Battlefield.
Oh man, the Battlefield. We haven't. That was the one thing on PC we haven't played together yet.
I think we tried to play, but internet's fantastic.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna name our internet company because we don't know. I was gonna say we don't know who the hell is gonna see this, so definitely, yeah, they know now. So, but I mean, just in your short PC time, Battlefield. You wanted to talk about Battlefield as a franchise, but now you want to talk about
so Battlefield.
Oh man, good old
Everybody's
Battlefield.
going back to Battlefield 4 because that's the last good one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to step on any toes, but Battlefield 5 is officially collapsing come summertime.
Mm-hmm. Now, by collapsing, what do you mean by collapsing? What's the kind of
Collapsing
move
is an
on that?
exaggeration. Look, I don't like the Battlefields, but I did give it a try. It's pretty. They're visually amazing games, better than I think I've ever seen. But they're just not as fun. There's something missing. It's missing that Battlefield feel, if you will. So, with that being said, what I mean by collapsing is not collapsing, but they're gonna stop working on the game. So no more free content, no more updates, nothing like that. It's all ending in the summer. And what? This game's been out since, was it 2018 when it came out?
I have no idea. I'll be honest. I just haven't kept up with that side of things.
Yeah, ever since Battlefield 4 kind of ended, they stopped working on it. We haven't.
And here's the thing. I'll be honest. As far as Battlefield 4 went, Battlefield went a lot longer than its lifespan should have, for sure.
Dude, yeah, and even beyond the 2 years or whatever premium and DLC you get, they kept working on it. I don't know if you remember, but before Battlefield 1 came out, they released like one last big update for.
No, I think even while Battlefield 1 was out, they released, what was it, Legacy Operations, which was the big map.
They had Legacy Operations. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was way towards the end of its lifespan. Dude.
Yeah, that was like not mid Battlefield 1, but Battlefield 1 was out when that came out.
That map was huge. But it went to like objective like K or something. I think.
That was just on console. I can't even imagine. I don't even know what that map. Oh, excuse me. I don't even know what that map looked like on PC. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, because it kind of was dumbed down a little bit, even for Xbox One, which what's Xbox One? But that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, they really made Battlefield 4 last a lot longer. And I think that, I don't know for sure, because I'm not DICE, but as far as DICE goes, I think that they just had more fun with it. They just enjoyed making Battlefield. And it's good to listen to your community and, change up the scenery. They made it go to World War One, World War Two, and then I mentioned there was Hardline. They switched it up a little bit. But when they listen to the community, that's great. They're trying to please their fans. But they stepped away from what they really liked making, I think, which was just sad. I don't want to be stubborn to World War II games, because World War II games are good.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1943 was great. I think that was the first Battlefield we actually played.
Yeah, it was because the reason why is because we thought you had to have on the 360 version of Battlefield 3, we thought you had to have some certain type of like what was it, a serial code or like an activation code you have for an account you had to buy, and so we tried to play that. So we went, we saw that there was a Battlefield 1943 on the Xbox Game Arcade. Is that what it was? The Xbox Arcade? Is that what it was called back in the day?
I don't know if it was a real... Was it an arcade game?
I don't even know. But we played the trial, and it was just fun. It was just like the Battlefield game we had hoped for.
Yeah. It was the first taste of Battlefield I think we ever had, which we were obsessed with trying at the time.
Oh yeah, the vehicles, the guns, and
a lot of people still played it. I don't think we really waited ever too long to get into a server. I
don't
know how old Battlefield 1943 was at the time.
Because we just kind of picked it up. People still picked it up now. Like, I remember back then, that's where I had my first taste of how bad, like, server games could be. Like, games based on a dedicated server. And that was rough back in the day. Because, you'd shoot and it would just, like, the game would just desync. Netcode was terrible for that game. I mean, you name it. It was rough. But as far as, like, but I was addicted. We were addicted. And that was just, we had to have more Battlefield.
We got Battlefield 3 shortly after, and that was just it.
And then right after we got Battlefield 3, we saw Battlefield 4 E3. And I remember that first Siege of Shanghai display from E3 2013. Was that what? Is that when that was? That was just the greatest display of a video game I remember ever seeing, and that's like a moment in gaming I won't forget, because that was, I think, one of the first E3s you and I ever started watching, because we were young. We were young then.
It was a while, and that's what really got us into game hype and all that before game hype became something
Mm-hmm.
stupid. But at the time, game hype meant something. So we were talking about like they went up the elevator. They showed the building I think they showed the building collapse in that little playthrough on E3,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that was just like, whoa.
That was just everything. And it was like a huge building. But I mean, you get next to it in the game, and it's like you were in real life. You look up at a skyscraper, and it's just like massive, and it's just you feel so small compared to that building.
And Siege of Shanghai was just the tip of the iceberg because we had all these other maps that had some form of levolution in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think another great one is Parcel Storm, when the boat would come crashing in, the storm
crashing right
awesome.
through. Yeah, that was crazy.
It was new, it was cool.
Yeah. It was when after we went through Battlefield 4's lifespan, because we were there for the release, we got premium for it and everything. I mean, we were there for the middle and the end of Battlefield. We played the beta, and this was all on console. This wasn't even on PC. This was on Xbox 360. Yeah, I mean, but we were addicted.
Was way above what the 360 could even handle because there were so many bugs on.
Oh, so many, and there's bugs people probably don't even know. I don't know how many people probably. I mean, I'm sure there's a million people that know now, but back in the day, I'm sure only 360 players, and that wasn't even the majority of the Battlefield 4 player base, but only 360 players, I think, encountered the Dawnbreaker bug, where once the sun got to a certain point, the entire server would crash or whatever.
Was it the sun? I just remember we would try to join in, and it would just
you knew once you saw the loading screen for Dawnbreaker, it was time to quit because you knew it was going to crash.
It would just crash the game. Yeah, crap. DC.
Crazy, and they didn't fix that until Beyond Xbox One came out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't even a problem on Xbox One, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Battlefield 4 was way ahead of its time.
It was.
Or at least that was just a really good game, and it just lasted.
Absolutely was. So what's so basically the point of this was to kind of talk about Battlefield, where it's at right now, and after when we had kind of seen Battlefield 1, it was almost like when you smell something bad that's being made for dinner. Like you're like, what is that smell? And you were kind of like, okay, it might be good, but maybe it just smells. But it's like Brussels sprouts. It's honestly like I'll compare Battlefield 1 to making Brussels sprouts.
I don't want to talk to people wanted it at the time. People wanted to go back to World War I, World War II. I wasn't interested. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I told you so. I don't really care. I wasn't interested. I was like, oh, we'll stick on Battlefield 4, worst case. We gave it a try. I mean, I genuinely tried to like it.
Yeah, we gave it a shot, but it's just like for me personally, and I'm going to be a little rough with it, it didn't matter how hard I tried to like it, I just couldn't. Battlefield 4 just scratched every itch that I had for a game like Battlefield. It really did.
Addictive unlocks, good maps.
Good season pass, DLC, and even the free updates after all that came out. The night operations, the legacy operation. I mean, we definitely squeezed the life out of Battlefield 4.
Yeah, I think again that goes back with DICE just like making the game.
Yeah.
Liked making it. There wasn't that same love for Battlefield 1 and 5.
Yeah, and I think that's also what that was.
They had all these problems. They were rushed. I mean, Battlefield 5 came out very soon after Battlefield 1. I don't know the exact dates.
And we talked about this before, but EA had already had a bad habit of releasing strands of bad games.
Well, this is really where it started, though. Was back towards the end of Battlefield 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's really where EA kind of tapered off a little bit.
Is it bad to say that it started with not with Hardline, but with not even a Battlefield game, that it started with Madden 16 for EA, and then it slowly affected into DICE for Battlefield 1, kind of like a domino effect? Is that fair?
That's a little out there.
That's a little out there, yeah.
Because I don't really put the sports games in the same category, because DICE has a whole different ball game when it comes to making this stuff. DICE they make Battlefield. I'm pretty sure they make Battlefront. So it's a whole other realm. Whereas sports games are just kind of totally different developers, totally different types of games.
Right.
But don't get me wrong, that's that's around the same time sports games started to kind of go off the edge too. But
Yeah, taper
totally
off and everything.
but there just wasn't the same love, and we saw that. We saw that with the content we got. Very pretty maps. Their level designers were fantastic. I mean, these gorgeous games. Battlefront 1 and 2 in a way suffered the same stuff that Battlefield did.
And it leaked their
Their
love for making games, or not even their love for making games, but their love for making good. I think they spread themselves, as far as both studios for both games. I think they spread themselves very thin. And I think they tried to make four decent games rather than two great games. Because if you think about Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 5, it's very similar to Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
They had very similar releases.
The thing about Battlefront 2 is we fixed the issue of, okay, now we have the Clone Wars, we got Rebellion, we got everything, and including the new trilogy. We had everything. The only issue is there's only like 8 maps to play on. The whole free DLC thing, like, it's cool, but as we've gotten free DLC, like the value of DLC, the quality of DLC has gone down, and it's just clear to everybody. We're getting less maps every DLC release. We're getting less unlocks, less. Cause back in Battlefield 4, man, when we had DLC launch, every class got a new weapon. There was new vehicles. There was like 4 new maps.
Yep.
And they were fun. They looked good.
New like tools and stuff to use, like the Mavs. What else was it? There's like a little like recon drone you can use to fly around, or like a hunter killer drone. What was it that you played with?
A little paper plane.
Yeah, I mean that was fun. But new vehicles as well. But and it goes back to Battlefield 4 being kind of our personal and dominant favorite battlefields. With this is like we paid for a $60 game, and we paid for a $60 season pass, and we got everything that we paid for, plus the experience is priceless. I mean, the experience those games gave us is well worth the $120 we both sank into that game. I mean,
and then some. I honestly would have paid more. Not that I want to, but I mean, if DICE said, "Hey, premium's gonna go up $30," I'm like, okay, like we're gonna get it.
$90 premium, or if they have a premium year 1 and a premium year 2, and they promise if they were to do a Battlefield 4, like a game like a new Battlefield, and they were to release it like how they did, but they were to release like year 1 DLC, year 2 DLC, but put the amount that came out with the like Battlefield 4 type, like do releases like Battlefield 4, I would be totally on board with putting money into Battlefield games as long as I enjoy the gameplay.
Yeah, I mean Battlefield 4 just straight up had more maps. People love maps. People love guns, and I don't know much about the Battlefield 5 guns, but I know that it didn't release with too many maps. Battlefront 1 and 2 didn't release with too many maps, and it's kind of bad when we're getting games half released, and it's like, we'll give you the rest later, and it'll be free, so don't worry about it. It's like, I don't mind paying for the DLC if it's good.
I'll say this, and this is in our experience and our opinion, or I'm sure not our opinion, my opinion, but I'm sure you can agree. I think us personally, I think we've bought a total of like 4 to 5 game season passes. Like we did For Honor's season pass. We got Call of Duty Infinite Warfare season pass. We got Destiny 2 season pass.
Oh no!
Yeah. See what I'm saying? See where I'm kind of going with this?
Destiny 2 is a free game now, and
we
$100 something
$120, and it's a free game. I'm not saying that game that's a different story for a different time for Destiny, but I'm saying for Battlefield 4, what we paid for, we got the best. We got every DLC was good. every map that they implemented was not great, but they were good and they were fun to play on. Like, like if we were to load into one of those, even our least favorite map in Battlefield 4, we would still enjoy it.
I don't prefer this map, but it's Battlefield.
Yeah, it's Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4, honestly, actually, and we'll kind of delve into this a little bit, as far as a game of the decade goes for the 2010s, Battlefield 4 might be number one for me because it created the most memories, the most. Now I don't know about like over. I don't know, man, because there was a lot of great games of the past decade, but
There's been a lot of good games.
and this is
been great.
This is kind of going into a big topic, but like as far as like a multiplayer game goes, definitely up there.
Yeah, I'll give it the Battlefield for that. But I think the best game, you can call me dumb, but Elder Scrolls 5 is Skyrim.
Oh my god, that
Because
game.
there's no other game that I have ever binged as hard as Skyrim, man. I've never put so much time and the immersiveness of that game. Everything.
Dude, and it's one of those games once a year you're playing it again. Like
I've never played a single player game over and over as much as I have that game.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people could probably say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a masterpiece. I cannot wait to see what the next Elder Scrolls is.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully, like within the upcoming months, I don't know where E3 or how E3 is going to take place, but hopefully within the upcoming months, we'll hear something about Elder Scrolls 6. But that's gonna kind of go into like future shows and stuff like that.
They won't say anything until they fully announce it. We're not gonna hear a damn thing about it until they're ready, which is good. I like that. It's kind of like Rockstar and Bethesda are very similar in that way.
Yep.
Like, hey, we're working on it, but you can't see it until we feel like telling you about it.
Yep. So, yeah, I think. So, is there anything else you want to talk about for the Battlefield thing? Have you kind of covered everything?
As far as Battlefield 5 goes, I mean, we have the last update dropping in the summer, and that's going to be it. Which I'm happy. I mean, but I know a lot of people are going back to Battlefield 4 because it's like, well, that's the last time they can relate, good feelings to playing Battlefield. I think maybe they didn't even realize it. But Battlefield 5, I don't want to just say the World War era was a failure. Definitely the way DICE executed it was.
Right.
Me personally, I'm not as interested in World War II and World War I as I would be a Modern Warfare game.
Right.
But I can definitely say DICE's execution was pretty damn cool. I really hope, and they're giving themselves, I think, 2 years now to work on this new one, which is great. I don't want to wait that long, but if it means I get a really solid Battlefield game, I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
Absolutely. So I mean, I know with your PC, I know we kind of been playing the same thing. We'll kind of talk about what we've been playing, and then we'll probably end it there because we're at a solid 42 minutes, man. Time fucking flies.
Wow.
But so aside from because we've both been playing Escape from Tarkov, we're both very new to that and trying to get out of Noobville and that's a tough one.
Crazy game, man.
Oh yeah. What's your thoughts on that? How you feeling about this game?
That is the most realistic game I've ever had my hands on, and it actually scares me. Like, you hear a gun go off, it scares you. Your player just drops to the floor, and next thing you know, you're at the main menu. And that's it.
That's awesome, dude.
That's a crazy game, and I can't believe that's a game in beta right now. So there's a lot of games right now that are in beta that is wow.
That we're both kind of playing. I think we're both kind of playing similar games. The only game that you haven't played that I'm playing right now is Valorant. And we'll touch base on that in a sec. But Escape from Tarkov, we're both playing Escape from Tarkov and the Mountain Blade Bannerlord 2. And both games are technically in beta right now, and they're getting. Yeah, they feel like if they were released right now, they would just be like bug fixes and little patches. But it's like, both games are being really good and taken care of right now, and it's really awesome and really cool to see, at least for these little developers. How not, it doesn't take a AAA developer to make a good game. I mean, these guys really are taking great care of their game, and it's awesome.
I'm kind of hoping the last couple years of gaming is really gonna change developers' eyes on things, because you can tell a lot of stuff is turned into marketing money. Not everything, but a lot of it has. With is free games, but there's all this stuff to pay for. I'm not knocking on free games. There's a lot of free games that are awesome, but it's caused a lot of issues for these AAA games that are having to compete with free games.
Yeah,
that never was even thought of. It's making it very weird. So I think that's what we're kind of in the middle of right now. Is they're trying to figure out how do we compete with a free game.
Right, and that's the crazy part about majority of the games that I play. Valorant, Apex Legends, technically Call of Duty Warzone is also free.
People used to pay $60 for games like these, and now they're like, wait, $0? Well, how do we make money off of that?
Yeah,
other than cosmetics, people aren't gonna just buy cosmetics all day. I'm sure I'm not going to, but
I've sunk in my teeth in a couple of things. Like I've already invested into a skin in Valorant. I just couldn't help it, man. It's such a cool looking skin. When you see the skin, you'll understand. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with skins,
when you get the beta,
you're not gonna make $60 a person off of that like you would. So you have developers like DICE. You got people and around, all spans of gaming developers having to figure out, okay, how do we make a quality game? And then compete with people who are making just as good quality of games that are free. Like, what do we do about that?
And the thing, it kind of goes back, and this is kind of a shot. Not so much me trying to take a shot at DICE, but it goes back to if you make a finished game and you prove that it's a finished game, people will pay for it. People will pay for a game that's unfinished, and we'll kind of delve into Star Citizen a little bit and Tarkov.
Pay for games. The issue isn't people paying for games. It's okay, they're focusing so much on the competition that I think it's affecting the quality of games.
Right, I agree.
I don't know how to fix it. I'm not the game developer. I'm just saying what I'm seeing, and that's that. Okay, we all know we're kind of in a weird spot. We're getting like what we feel are half. It's just missing what used to be there.
And I think for people like me and you, it's kind of different because we also, it's like, why pay for this game when we could just play this game for free, and pick it up and put it down whenever. I mean, that's kind of where Apex Legends is. I mean, you honestly, and if you were to be brand new to video games and you just bought a console or you just bought your PC, you could play majority of the best games in the world right now for free.
There's a lot of stuff.
And that's so crazy to think about. And we used to, I remember back, like, going back to the 10 years ago conversation, we were in the free-to-play section on Steam every day seeing what's free, what's new, what's free, what's new.
And not just that, but games, you have stuff like the memberships, like the Xbox membership where you get, like 100 games or something like that, and you just pay, like, $10 a month? That was unheard of. That's all brand new as well. So you put that in. Those games are games you would normally pay $40, $50, $60 for it. You're getting for $10 a month, and Xbox Live. This is just recent changes, and even Origin. People, EA, it's got something like that. Everything's starting to have stuff like that, and it's just kind of changing the way developers make their games. I think that's what we're seeing, and I could be wrong. This is what I think, but I think that DICE is just in a weird spot. They know they haven't been making good games. Not just DICE. There's other developers out there that are kind of guilty. The quality has just gone down. I really hope that we get a good Battlefield. That's all I want, man.
You're not the only one, brother. You're not the only one. Yep. So we've both been playing similar games. We're waiting. I think we're definitely thinking about delving into Star Citizen together. We're waiting for the 3.9 update. They're in 3.8.2 right now. Today, I'm not too sure when the new 3.9 update is supposed to start, but that would be definitely a good time to look at that. We'll definitely have to make a segment about that eventually. We're thinking this is going to be an every Sunday thing for both uploading and possibly live, depending on the time frame we're in, what both of our personal lives are looking, and both what we're doing. But yeah, man, this has been pretty fun. It'd be good. It's just good just to kind of get a voice out there. I'm even down to listen to others and see if there's any other thing kind of like what we're doing, just to kind of see. And I'm sure there is. I'm sure the's millions.
There's always a bunch of stupid stuff to talk about, so we're gonna talk about it.
Oh man, stupid stuff. But alrighty, man. I think I think this was a good first time back. I think this is definitely a little bit more smooth. We're definitely a little bit more grown. This probably sound a little bit more mature when this is the last time we did something like this.
I was like, dude, you look at the maturity of those videos. It's like,
oh man, and
so
even it's just crazy the difference in like how how we do things, how we did things back then, and how we're doing it now. So
yeah, everything's professional.
For us, it's different.
Things, what we have access to nowadays, you'd have to pay so much money for back then.
Mm-hmm.
Where it just wasn't as easy to get. So we actually have access to a high quality chat room. We got access to a high quality system to record it. Everything is just so different. Back then, what we had, like a Kodak camera.
Oh god.
Coffee table.
Oh my god, dude.
Posters.
Oh, definitely. We'll definitely have to show a little bit of history on that.
But if we did, we'd throw it back. We'd be like, all right, let's get the table back out.
Let's get it out. Let's show the world. But alrighty, man, that's gonna do it for us. So we'll definitely see everybody next time.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, Drew. It's good seeing you.
Good to see you too, buddy. We'll see you later.
All right. I'll give you a high five right now.
Change your mind, 'cause I wasn't thinking